Welcome to Techstination. Joining us is Jason Tyrrell, Kanopy's Vice President of Content. Thank you for joining us, Jason.
Thanks for having me, Fred. Appreciate it.
We're going to talk about the news that you've got coming out today, but first, give us a little background about Kanopy. You've been around for a while, and it's Kanopy spelled with a K.
With a K, yeah. So Kanopy is the premium streaming platform for thoughtful entertainment, serving the library market. So our customers are academic and public libraries, their staff, their students, and their patrons. And so the model is based upon bringing the best of what's available in narrative film, documentary film, shorts, animation, and kids programming, and making it available as broadly as we can through the library markets. So the focus there is to democratize access to content at every available opportunity, make strong content, meaningful films available as broadly as possible, and our customers are academic and library institutions that facilitate that for their patrons.
And so how do consumers get to your product then? They all they need is pretty much a library card, et cetera?
Exactly. All you need is a library card or a student ID. And essentially, we work with more than 4,000 institutions globally, although the majority of our customers are in North America, but we are available worldwide. And it's a streaming platform. You can go to Kanopy.com, search for your library, search for your school, and with your library card information, you can turn on an account and be watching films and documentaries in 30 seconds. What's exciting about it is, because of the facility of the model and our work with the institutions, access to the content is free to the end users. So it's really a resource. It's a huge resource in academic classroom settings and as the add-ons to continuing education and curriculum. And for our public library customers, especially this year, when video resources are so needed for value add on top of K through 12 education, continuing ed, or really just giving folks something to watch at home that's quality, that takes them out of the hard year that we've had. It's been really exciting to support our customers and our patrons through that. But we're available on desktop, mobile, Roku, Apple TV, basically anywhere that you would stream from any platform.
So all of these devices that are sometimes built into TVs or add-on dongles, et cetera, will work, or the boxes?
Yeah. So primarily I'd say, we have a ton of users through Roku, Apple TV as well, a lot of smartphone and mobile and tablet users. I think, for our libraries where they've had to, cut in-person events, I think engaging with folks through content and, connecting through sort of virtual film clubs has been a valuable piece of what they've been able to offer their communities.
And you've announced some new content that's coming to the platform. Tell me about it.
Well, so one of the products we're most excited about is our Kanopy Kids service. So this is accessible through our main service, just with the same library card membership. If you go on to Kanopy.com, set up your account, in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see Go to Kanopy Kids. And this is basically a gated ad-free experience of kids content. Everything on the platform has been vetted. It's all approved for young children. Our focus has been providing resources of sort of expanding imagination, early language skills, early math skills, but also providing kids and their parents sort of an access to some of the amazing world cinema that's out there that's kid-friendly. So we created this gated ad-free space for that. And again, it's freely end user, thousands of titles. And we've added a couple more really strong partners this month that we're really excited about.
Tell us about those.
Well, so the one that I'd say is near and dear to my hearts is Highlights. So I don't know if you remember, Fred, but for me, Highlights magazine was a big thing back in the day.
Taking me back to the dentist's office.
Yeah, exactly. But Highlights is a phenomenal brand for kids content, especially for early education. So we've partnered with them to put a bunch of short form content together, animated content that speaks directly to, I'd say, 3 to 6 year olds. And it's really teaching life skills and early language, early reading. It's an exciting slate of content. And so that'll be launching on Kanopy this month and over the next 2 months as well. The second partner we're really excited about is Sesame Workshop. So we've done some work with Sesame in the past, but this month what we've been able to launch on the platform is a series of Spanish language content that comes from Sesame Workshop, featuring Elmo, who we all love. And what's great about this is, again, for us, we're motivated by access to content, democratizing that access for our communities, and quality kids content that's separated from an ad experience that can engage with our users, our viewers that do not have English as a primary language. That's very important to us. So we're looking to really broaden the access to Spanish language content through our platforms. And I think partnering with a brand like Sesame is a great step in that direction.
Yeah, it sounds terrific. Tell me about some of the other content that people are going to find on Kanopy, because I wonder, well, is this like the mainstream movie stuff? I assume you're more focused than that.
Well, we always go by the mandate of thoughtful entertainment, and that can take a lot of forms. This is my first year at Kanopy, but I've worked in film distribution for about 14 years now. And so what I always say to my team in acquisitions is, if you were to step 200 years into the future and dig up a case filled with hard drives out of the ground, and you wanted to see what cinema was 200 years ago, what would you want to have in there? That's what we want to have on Kanopy. So our focus to date has been primarily independent studios and filmmakers. We feature some really strong collections: the Criterion Collection, A24, Samuel Goldwyn Films, Gunpowder and Sky. So we really focus on that sort of upper tier of independent film. Kino Lorber, we have a huge collection from, and this is critically acclaimed, festival favorites, a lot of films that have broken through in the theatrical market as well. We tend to feature that. Kanopy's also been a home for independent filmmakers and documentarians that are sort of our, the modern day journalists that are really doing the deeper dives into important subject matters. So we feature a lot of strong documentary film content as well. And then for some of our library partners, you'll see some studio content too. So I think what our users love is, you'll find on Kanopy a very deep and a very broad catalog. We currently host over 25,000 titles in our collection. And you'll find stuff that you can't find anywhere else. You'll find titles, classic films that go back to the teens and the 20s. Some, great independent film or mainstream stuff from the 70s that's just not available in streaming anywhere else. So it's a great resource for not just the cinephile that wants to do a deeper dive into a back catalog, but also just a general film fan that's looking for something great to watch on a Friday night.
It's funny when you say teens and 20s. Now people want to know, well, which century?
Right. Well, and they're predicting for us that we're going to be looking at the roaring 20s after this all over again, which might not be the worst thing for us.
Very, very interesting. So are there restrictions with libraries as to how many people can access a particular title at the same time, or?
No, all of our titles are open-ended. On the public library side of the business, every user, every patron of the library system receives a certain amount of credits per month to access content. And then those credits refresh each month. And that's dependent on the scope of the library, their circulation, the amount of patrons they serve. The academic side of the business is a different model. It's based on long-term licensing. And the goal there is really providing stability of resources for lesson planning. So the public library is really, generally for individuals and home use. The academic libraries are focused on collection building and curation and classroom usage. But there's no limit. It's not like you take out a book from the library and there's only one copy. It's open and available for everyone.
Now, I know you haven't been there all that long, but can you relate the story of how this came about?
Well, Kanopy was started by a woman named Olivia Humphreys who really helped innovate the model for streaming distribution of academic resources. So she started the company, I believe it was 10 years ago in Australia. And the focus then was strictly academic distribution, even physical academic distribution, DVDs. The company relocated to the US in 2013 and launched the streaming platform at that point. So as a streaming entity, we're 7 years in, which is like 50 years in technology time. We again initially were academic libraries only. In 2017, we expanded to include public libraries, and we found a really exciting customer base there.
And for more information, I assume people can head to Kanopy.com.
Kanopy.com is your easiest place to go. You can find more about us, media clips. You can take a look at the library and find all the information for how to sign up for your account.
Terrific. And it's Kanopy.com. Jason Tyrrell, thank you for taking the time with us.
Thank you so much, Fred. So great to be here. Have a great holiday.
Now this. It takes a lot of listening to build a better radio. And that's just what the folks at C. Crane have done. Bob Crane and his crew, nestled among the rivers and tallest trees in the world in Fortuna, California, have made a habit of listening to their customers. And that's just what they've done in building the CC Skywave SSB, the Swiss Army knife of portable radios. For everyday listening to AM or FM in the yard or patio or on the nightstand, without having to drain a mobile phone battery, it's a great companion. But it is also a companion equipped for NOAA weather information and alerts that can be life-saving. You can listen to FEMA and Coast Guard transmissions too. Beyond all of that, you can tune into shortwave signals from around the world. It's compact, easy to take with you, and built to last. The CC Skywave SSB. Click on the link at Techstination.com.